You there! Welcome back to Test Drive Tuesday. We're calling this Season 2 because it's like a second season, so you call it Season 2. To kick things off, we're doing it dirty with the diesel. This is the 2018 Ford F150 PowerStroke. This is the Super Duty Junior. Now, you've probably heard all about the 2018 F150 with the regular engines and how great it is. The ride is nice, the suspension is wonderful, the interior is nicely refined. So what we're going to focus on here today is that first ever diesel in this half-ton. It's a PowerStroke engine. It's a 3-liter turbo diesel 6. It's making 250 horsepower and 444 pound-feet of torque. And it's been designed and built by the same people who build the 6.7-liter PowerStroke. So they know what they're doing. It's commercial-grade technology applied to a civilian truck. If you want a PowerStroke-equipped F-150, and you're not a fleet customer, you're a retail customer, you have to choose between a Lariat, a King Ranch, and a Platinum. And you get it in Super Crew or Super Cab. If you are a fleet customer, you can get it in an XL and an XLT. Now, Ford keeps touting their tow rating, which is over 11,000 pounds, and that's specifically for the XLT model. On this Lariat, I'm driving a Lariat with the FX4 package. It's around 9,000 pounds, I believe, which is still tons with a half-ton. In fact, I did some towing with this one just to see what it was really like. Anyone can hop in one of these and talk about how good it is with towing, and modern Fords are great with towing, just like any other modern pickup with their trailer sway control and all the trailer backup camera stuff and the adjustable brake gain and all that. One of the features I do love is when you put it in reverse, there's a dotted line in the middle that shows you exactly where the tow hitch is heading. I hooked this up to a trailer myself. I backed in, I didn't need anybody back there spotting, and the ball was right there where I needed it to be. What I towed was Airstream's relatively new base camp. It's their smaller two-person, no, we were three because we had a toddler with us. It's the smaller of the Airstream family of trailers. It's 15 or 16 feet long. It's not any wider than the truck, which is nice. And in fact, with the tapered design, you can in some instances see which vehicle is behind you, which is huge when towing. The base curb weight of the base camp is only like 2,600 pounds. It has a gross vehicle weight rating of about 3,600 pounds, so you're not dealing with tons of mass back there. This truck had zero issues towing it. I was upgrades, I was downgrades, the 10-speed automatic select shift gearbox when I told it which gear I wanted it to go no higher than, because you don't force it into a gear at the plus or minus, you set a top gear and it won't shift above that. It held gears great on downhill sections. It kept speed right where I wanted it to be very comfortably. Did you hear that truck? That Ford is loud next to me. It has a dumb exhaust. I don't know what exhaust that is. This diesel is so quiet inside. When you're outside of the truck, you can hear a little bit of the clattery dieselness, but when you close that door, it's super quiet in here. They did an amazing job with the NVH on this truck. It's shockingly quiet that you totally forget it's a diesel unless you don't have the radio on like I do right now. And then you can hear some of the diesel, like there's some dieselness, but it's really not much. When you're just cruising along, it fades into the background and it's gone. Even when you're underway, like every now and then you can hear the turbo whistle, which is kind of cool. That's always fun with a turbo diesel engine, but it's honestly super quiet for a diesel truck. And then because it is a 2018 F-150 and because it is a Lariat, it is nice inside. It's a Super Crew. There's tons of room in the back seat for tall folk. I would have no problem sitting behind myself were it not for the laws of space-time and physics and all that. Huge panoramic sunroof is great to let the sunshine in. This has an optional B&O sound system, which is a really nice sounding audio setup. So this is a very nicely equipped diesel half-ton. And because it's a very nicely equipped diesel half-ton, it is expensive as f***. The base price of this truck is $47,000. As tested with this fireman red in your face red paint is $70,000. So it's not that junior of a Super Duty. You're only about $10,000 away from an F250 Platinum at that point, which has 925 pound-feet of torque. So the diesel price premium starts to fall on its face a little bit here. Now, whatever I'm about to say going forward, don't forget, this is a really, really good truck with a really, really good engine. There are some problems. I mentioned the price. The other problem is that the 3.5 liter EcoBoost 6 exists. Properly spec'd, that one has a higher tow rating. So what are we doing? Well, the EcoBoost is not eco-friendly. It's a powerful engine. It's a powerfully compact engine, and it is not, you would think it would be great on gas, and it's not that spectacular. This engine is rated to do 30 miles per gallon on the highway, which is fantastic. While I was towing, I never dropped below 20 miles per gallon. That's where it's really impressive. I was between a little over 21 down to just over 20, nearly 22 miles per gallon down to like 20.5 or something like that, while towing with my family in the truck. That's where it starts to reshine a little bit. Buff that red paint, the candy apple red paint a little bit, and start smiling again. That's where the idea of this 3-liter turbo diesel truck comes back to life. So, yes, we always come back to this point. Modern trucks are wildly expensive. I couldn't imagine this was a platinum trim. Does it need the FX for it? No, but it's kind of cool to have the slightly beefier tires and the ability to enjoy yourself a little bit more off-road. It's not a Raptor, of course. It'd be great if they offered this at retail in a non-Lariat, non-Platinum, non-King Ranch truck. If they offered a true $40,000 version of this truck for just the general customer, then we'd be talking. Then we'd be seriously talking. But this is probably a good truck for someone who's retired and can spend their weekends towing a sizable rig behind them. You could comfortably tow something with some heft behind you in this. So you have money to spend, you want a little bit nicer interior of a vehicle, and you're gonna be traveling on the weekends and enjoying your truck the way someone who buys a truck should enjoy their truck. That's probably the customer for this one. There are better options for the person who isn't burning every weekend towing something. If you're just, throwing mountain bikes in the back, you do not need a diesel rig for that. You're better off with the EcoBoost at that point, or just a less expensive version of this truck. But as it stands, it is a wonderful option to have in the half-ton space. I did feel the trailer behind me a little bit. It wasn't just like I was towing nothing. Power-wise, it was great. I was doing between 65 and 70 on the open sections of freeway with zero issues. But every now and then, under braking, you could feel a little bit of the weight on the back there on the tow mount. I had the brake gain kind of high because it just felt like I needed a little bit more stopping power than I expected to need. And through cornering, no issues there. And I don't think any of this is the fault of the trailer. It's great that they got the weight down of that trailer so much so it's easy to tow. They advertise it as people towing it behind SUVs. So you can tow it behind certain crossovers, no problem at all there. If I had that on the back of a real Super Duty, I would not have felt a thing. I wouldn't have felt anything. I probably could have done 100 miles an hour and would just laugh and see the Airstream behind me going zip, dip, dip, and not have felt a thing. Don't do that though. So, to sum up, because I'm beginning to ramble a bit here, this is a wonderful vehicle from Ford. It is also wonderfully expensive, and that's a bit of a problem. I have a problem with this at $70,000. It's a brilliant truck in terms of what that engine can do in terms of fuel economy. In Ford's own testing, they tested it at that famous dam in Arizona where it's like a 6% grade for 13 miles in 100-degree heat, and they never lost power. They didn't put electric fans on this. They put the mechanically viscous fans so that your cooling issues are always addressed at a start-stop, which I hate, so I'm going to turn that off so the engine comes back to life. And you get fantastic power consistently with this. You get good fuel economy when you're towing with this. It's supremely comfortable inside. If you want a truck and you want a very nicely equipped diesel offering without going full big dog F250, F350, Super Duty Junior is your man. We're backing up the truck. We're backing up the truck. Hi-ho, the Dario. We're backing up the truck. Hey.